Welcome everyone to a reverse showdown between myself as Cathay going up against Khorne, which are going to be led by Frederick. So yet again, this was a training game, but we reversed it. So we are going to be having 2 units of Furies here, coming from the faction of Khorne, 2 units of Fleshhounds on the right hand side as well, and the same for the left hand flank. So 2 Fleshhounds, 2 Furies, making 4 in total. For the front line, we are going to have Bloodletters, very good anti-infantry armor piercing on the battlefield, so 3 in total, and then 3 units of the Shielded Warriors of Khorne. For the hero, we are going to be having the Cultist of Khorne. He's going to be on horseback, here bringing the Gate of Khorne for the extra Bloodletters. So for the Lord Choice, we are going to have a Herald of Khorne. He's going to be here on a Juggernaut, bringing the abilities of the Revel in Slaughter, the Locust of Wrath, and the Hellblade. So really cool force here coming from Frederick, and for myself, yes, you can see the build. 3 units of the Elite Celestial Dragon Guard in the middle, and they're going to be supplemented by the Dune Dragons. The bad boys in the middle that do actually bring the magic damage, making them very, very powerful indeed. They do have immune to psychology. They also have encourage, giving leadership to all surrounding units. In the middle, we are going to have the double bad boy sentinels, the unbreakable men here of Cathay, and then of course Miao Ying, the Storm Dragon. She's going to bring in the Arcane Conduit, as well as the Life Bloom and the Disdain of the Dragons. She will be bringing the Mastery of Element Winds, which is quite important, here with the Talons of the Night and Earthblood. We're also going to have the abilities of the Transformation of the Dragon, as well as the Wrath of the Storm. 2 units here of the Wuxing War Compass in the back. They are going to be having the Nexus of Element Winds, as well as the Mastery of Element Winds and the double spells of the Celestial Comet and the Celestial Lightning. 2 uses here on each, and they don't cost any Winds of Magic. So really nice box build here coming in. One thing that could definitely bolster this is just 1 unit of range. I kind of kept it a little bit simple for this one. You can improve it slightly. Even just a cheap unit of Peasant Archers, or maybe something a little bit tankier that can certainly hold, will be giving you the Harmony bonuses. Now the Harmony bonuses are good. They're not crucial. This build still can do rather well. Even just a Grand Cannon in the middle can do quite nicely, shooting at very long ranges. So of course I am going to be slowly pushing forward here, just trying to keep my box together as much as possible. We were talking and playing at the same time, trying to do as much coaching. I was in the chat with Doug. He was saying, yeah, this would be a good build to practice against, and this is why. So we're going to be pushing onto the front line here, and one thing you definitely want to do is you want to break it down in the stages. You definitely get onto the front line and start just breaking down the build where you can, maybe attacking certain flanks. Sadly here there was no halberds to deal with the Terracotta Sentinels, and Sentinels are here just to deal with, maybe we have an Exalted Bloodthirster, maybe coming in with Scarborough, and the big bad boys alongside Miao Ying can do some very, very big business. Loads of anti-large and armor-piercing halberds here in the battle lane, and then also magic damage for the Dune Dragons, really circumventing all that physical resistance. On the right-hand side, we are going to see Bloodletters here trying to, kind of cycle charge into the front line. The Lord is in, and he's actually going to be getting in and amongst the front line. You've got to be a little bit careful there. Of course, he can get taken down by Miao Ying and the crew. Now, I've also got to be careful, got to make sure that my Terracotta Sentinels don't move away, because the Earthblood is going to be encompassing the entirety of the build. Now, we are going to be fighting in melee combat. We can just juke away here with my opponent. And this will be a good cycle charge yet again here with the Bloodletters. Now what I want to do is make sure my opponent engages and start using some of the spells as quickly as possible here with the Wuxing War Compass. Over on the side, a bit of a good juke here from my opponent. It's actually going to be catching a few of the Fleshhounds. Bit of a bad spell there from me, but still going to be doing some relatively decent damage overall. We can see the Herald of Khorne looking rather damaged. I do overextend here with my Sentinel, but he comes in with a ginormous Karate chop into the backside here of my Herald. In the middle, we are actually going to get a Lightning down here. Good damage on the Bloodletters. Really want to wither those down as quickly as possible. And a brilliant summon there in the middle of these fantastic Bloodletters. They're going to be fighting up against the Wuxing War Compass and all the elements in the middle. They're going to be breaking the force. And you can see the Dune Dragons really taking some big damage at this moment. Good attacking it on the right-hand side here from my opponent. Frederick is really stripping down the Celestial Dragon Guard. 1 unit going to be faltering. Really will open up the box nice and quickly. On the outside, I do make a bit of a mistake there with the Sentinel. But of course, you can put spells around him with too many units to come in, as you will see shortly. You can see pretty much the entire force is now going to be coming forwards. So it looks like there's going to be a little bit of healing here on the side. Earthblood was overcasted to get to extra healing. That's also going to be bolstered by the triple Mastery of Element Winds. You can see a bit of a mistake here from Frederick. This can happen. And sadly, we do get a Talons of the Night. It is a pretty quick spell if you're not careful. The Furies do get out, but the majority of the units here are going to be taking some incredible damage in the pocket. And that can be the problem with, kind of overextending. And that's where you've got to be careful of area effect damage spells from Miao Ying. Now she does also bolster here with the Wrath of the Storm that's going to give magic damage to this nice 35-meter radius. Also melee attack and immune to psychology. So we're really going to be holding on to this box, really playing into the hands of the box. So Fury's going to be diving into the backside. I really like that they're up against the Celestial Dragon Guard. We're actually doing some really good work. Trying to see if we can break them with rear charges. Definitely want to get the hammer and anvil tactic where we can. So on the side here, Earthbite going down yet again. Definitely want to get as much healing as possible. Overcasting that, making that area of effect with increased healing. Just keeping as many models as tip-top shape as possible. On the side, the Warriors of Khorne here. 2 units are going to be hanging around. Some going to be fighting here, really trying to take down the Dune Dragons. Of course, they don't have the Harmony buffs. And the nice thing here about Miao Ying, she does actually provide 100% Harmony amplifier. So she can actually give the Dune Dragons, I believe, up to 12 melee defense and 12 leadership, which is absolute absurdity. Now in the middle, Bloodletters here are going to be pushing through, trying to see if they can get some good cycle charging. Quite a bit of damage here to the backside. This is also a training game, so we were talking. I did, certainly want to show this off as well. But we are going to see, just going to be casting the spell on the outside here, trying to catch as many of my opponent's units as possible with minimal damage to my own. And I do catch a little bit, so I do immediately cast an Earthblood, trying to make sure I keep the Celestial Dragon Guard as healthy as possible. Good cycle charging coming from the Flesh Hounds. Of course, we do have the brace there with the Celestial Dragon Guards, plus also the Charge Reflect, which is going to certainly punch back quite nicely here up against the Flesh Hounds. In the front, we do actually see the Terracotta slashing through here, the main force of the Warriors of Khorne, and we're now going to be diving forward. We do see the Wuxing War Compass just moving around. And very good stuff here from my opponent. He now has pretty much crumped one side of the Celestial Dragon Guard. They are going to be falling rather quickly. Balance of power is going to be in my favour, but for how long, though, is the question. We are now going to be having a Comet coming down, doing some really nice work up against the Warriors of Khorne. They get terrified thanks to the terror of the Sentinels. And you can see the Lord Choice is going to be in as well. Now we're really pushing on this left-hand flank of mine, and we have beaten it back. So now we're going to be into the juicy pocket. But of course, there's not too much to break down into here. The Sentinel comes with those fantastic attack animations. My god, they are so gorgeous. And yeah, they're going to be fighting in the middle, really slashing down against the Bloodletters. Bloodletters are a big problem for me. That's one thing I definitely use the spells here to try and take down up against all this fantastic anti-infantry. Lord Choice is going to be fighting up against the Strong Guard, trying to get that anti-infantry in there, fighting the best that they possibly can, imbuing magical attacks with the Wrath of the Storm, really helping them here up against Flesh Hounds and the Bloodletters. On the side, quite a few units are going to be breaking. We do actually have a 1v1. The Cultist fighting up against the Sentinel. It's not too bad there. It sounds like the Cultist is going to be on horseback. If he was on foot, actually, he might fight a little bit better because the Sentinel wouldn't be able to hit him as easily. But as you can see here, he is just going to push him. There's going to be a slam there. And yeah, the Sentinel should be able to edge out that fight. The Dune Dragon is going to be fighting quite nicely. They have pushed out here a little bit. We do see the Khorne Warriors getting pushed away. The Flesh Hounds really trying to get in around the back. We can see wavering here. Faction-wide army losses is about to kick in. But very good stuff here from my opponent. He did eventually break the box and really forced me into this weird scenario. So as we can see here, the Lord Choice is going to be going against the Lord Choice. Didn't really need to get Miao Ying into the dragon form just yet. But she should certainly get in. Look at that. She's going to be fighting in the sky. The favourite child here, the favourite dragon, is going to be beating down the Herald of Khorne. That's going to be army losses. GG's, and well played here to my opponent with a very, very tough build. So one thing I will say, this was a training game, and I really wanted to pay attention to this because of the build. I really, really like the build from Grand Cathay, and it's one that could really take Khorne by surprise. Now, one way you definitely can buffer it is, putting one unit of, certainly tanky range in the middle. That's going to give all the harmony amplifiers, and then also get that 100% bonus from Miao Ying. So normally goes in about 50%. So you normally, if you've got, let's say if you go with Yin, you're going to get 6 melee defense and 6 leadership. That will go up to 12, which is just absurd levels. I believe here the Dune Dragons start on about 53, so that's going to bring up to 65 melee defense, which is just absurd levels to deal with. Plus that added leadership, plus they're also going to be giving encourage. It's just an absolute nightmare here in the pocket. So Miao Ying coming in at 1,930. Good performance there from her. She didn't even have to go into dragon form. And 1,833 there for the Sentinels. Plus the healing, the Sentinels being unbreakable, they're just a nuisance. 1,160 there for the Dune Dragons, with 1,020, 850, and 780 for the Celestial Dragon Guard. 770 and 790 there for the Wuxing War Compass. So the Herald of Khorne coming in at 560, 350 there for the Cultist with a really nice summon, I must say so. 375, 620, 507 there for the Bloodletters. with the Khornites with shields coming at 550, 360, and 400. 300 there for the Fleshhounds, 300, 330, and then also 220. So, okay, but of course they struggled. There's really not much to break down here. And you can see bringing 4 units of Fleshhounds plus 4 units of the Furies. They had nothing to compromise. They had really nothing to do here on the battlefield. You know, a couple of units of Halberds, maybe some more Bloodletters would have, you know, certainly been prominent here for sure. 51, 71, 180, and 150 there for the Furies of Khorne. So just to remind you guys, this was a training game. And, you know, we try to show Frederick here how you can break down these kind of builds and what you can expect here in land battles. And this is certainly not the most optimal build coming from Grand Cathay, but certainly is a very tough one to take down if you haven't played against it in the past. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, please smash that like button. Feel free to leave a comment down below and subscribe if you haven't already. It really, really does help the growth of the channel. Other than that, I've been your boy Logic. Take care of yourselves, and I'll be seeing you all very, very soon.